back with former head coach Bruce Boudreau. Bruce, we're a day away from the Christmas break in the NHL, so this is a good time as any to get your updated rankings for all 7 Canadian teams. I can't wait to see who you have at the top, but let's start with number 7.
Hey, this is a great year, actually, for Canadian teams. It's the first time that I remember in recent years that all 7 are playing pretty good and are really a tough team to play against. But I'll start with number 7, Montreal. Their year is not ready. It's not their year yet. But I'm thinking in the very short period of time, they're playing a lot better. Yeah, they have a stinker every now and again. But, they're playing a lot better now, and they're pretty competitive on every game you play, especially at home. Number 6, and listen, this might be a surprise, but this is how good the Canadian teams are going. I'm picking Calgary. And listen, they're in a wild card position yet. So, how can I pick them? But, I just hope. I love the way they're playing and their work ethic and everything else that's going about it. I just don't think they're going to be able to sustain this through January, February, and March. So I'm picking Calgary as my 6th team. I'm picking Ottawa at number 5. They're the hottest team in the league at this point, or one of the hottest anyway. And listen, but I'm going to pick them at number 5. I think, again, if they can sustain this and they got to play almost 700 hockey for the rest of the year, they'll make the playoffs. But at that same thing, I think they believe in themselves, and it's a tough team to pick at 5, but I'm picking them at 5. Number 4 is Vancouver. Here's a team that had 110 points last year, and they're still right there, but they haven't hit stride yet. They're just got Demko back. He's just getting into shape. Miller's just getting back into shape. Quinn Hughes is arguably the best defenseman in the league. I gotta pick him, pick them at number 4. The only reason I'm picking Toronto at number 3 is you just never know how Austin Matthews is going to be hurting. Their goaltending, it seems to be somebody's always getting hurt there. But, they're playing great. But, that's just how good the Canadians are this year. The whole Canadian lot of teams here. That's why I'm picking number 2 is I'm picking Winnipeg. They're starting to get back to their game. How can you pick them any less? Every team has a little 500 stretch. They've already had their 500 stretch. So I'm picking Winnipeg at number 2. And the number 1 team in Canada has got to be the Edmonton Oilers. You take away those first 10 games, and they're easily the best team. They're the best team right now, but they're just starting on a roll. And if I remember correctly, they started on a roll last year, and they didn't get off that roll till Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I think they're perched right ready to do the same stuff again. They got all their boys playing, and I think it's the Edmonton Oilers going to be the number 1 team in Canada when this is all said and done.
Bruce, I love your list, but I'm sure you've hurt some feelings across this country. Speaking of the Oilers, they have been one of the hottest teams in the past month or so. But Bruce, the real question I have is how many of these Canadian teams will actually make it to the playoffs this season?
Wow, that's such a great question. I know that there's going to be at least those top 3 that I said. I still think Ottawa's gonna slip in there. I don't think Calgary's gonna make it, but to have that amount of teams in Canadian teams, I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely a good sign. The last time at least 5 Canadian teams clinched the playoffs in a full season was back in the 2016-2017 season.